So we don't have lots of children in our class, but Aria and I are going to show you how I would do the circle on my first morning of term. So I've got all of my children sat down listening, and I'll say, "Good morning, children."
Good morning.
And I'll say, "My name is Miss Sandra, and we're going to do some fun activities at Circle today. First of all, we are going to learn how we walk in the classroom. Let's see if you can all watch me. Stand up very quietly. I'm going to walk. Let me see who is sat quietly, listening, and ready to try walking. Aria, I love how quietly you're sat. So we're giving Aria that instruction. The other children are all hearing that Aria has been chosen because she is sat quietly, and they're going to want to be chosen as well. So hopefully now they will sit quietly. Let's see how quietly you can stand up and walk down the room and back. Dolly, I love how quietly you are sat. Would you like to go for your walk around the room? Aria's so quiet we can't even hear her coming back. And then Dolly's going to go for her walk. Ted, you are sat quietly. Would you like to go for a walk and then come back? Until everybody has been for a walk. And it's absolutely fine. If you have a big group of 20 children and they're calmly doing this, you can have 10 walking, and as one comes back you look and you send another. But if a child isn't sat quietly and they're not ready, you don't choose them. You don't nag them either. You don't say you're not getting a turn or sit still. Just wait and see, and if they don't settle, don't choose them. And if they say, "I haven't had a turn," you can say, "Oh, were you sat quietly ready?" And then they'll sit quietly ready for a second, and up they get and they can have their turn. So next I'm going to show you something really, really special. We are going to put out a floor mat. And this floor mat is really precious. It's where you're going to work. And we've got to learn to walk round the mat. We're not allowed to put our foot on it. I'm going to put the mat out just here. Let me see who's ready to walk around the mat without stepping on it. Now, if I had a big classroom, I'd probably place out 4 or 5 mats, and the children have a choice of where they work. You've got other staff in the room supporting you as well. And we're going to now look and just remember to give specific praise for walking around the mat. So not good boy, clever, well done. I love that you walked around the mat without touching it or keeping your feet on the floor. Okay. Aria, could you show everybody, please, how to walk around the mat carefully? I love that your toes didn't touch the mat. That's so clever. Right, Dolly, would you like a turn? And remember, you've got a big space, you've got a big room. You can have 10, 12 children walking at the same time. Just watch for yourself. Make sure it's in a controlled way. If it starts to get too noisy or whatever, then just don't send any more children off walking. It's important to retain the calm for the children. That's what we're trying to teach them. Dolly, I love that you walked around the mat without touching it. That's so clever. So then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to introduce my children to carrying a tray, but first of all they're going to collect a tray. So I'm going to have some empty trays on the shelf and I'm going to model what to do. So I'm going to stand up, I'm going to go and collect my empty tray. I'm going to walk around the circle and around the mat, not putting my feet on it, carrying my work. And the teacher will say to me, "I love how you're walking so carefully, carrying the tray." And then I'm going to put it back where I got it from. Let me see who is sat quietly listening. Ted, would you like to go and get a tray? And Aria, would you like to go and get a tray? Carry it carefully around the room. There we go. And off they go. So the children will now, you'll probably have 6 or 8 of them up, walking around the room, carefully navigating your floor mats, choosing a tray. At the moment there's nothing on the tray, carrying it carefully around the room and then returning it to where it came from. So this is how I build up the skills with my children. I could sit here and do this for half an hour because the children are constantly on the move. I'm not making them sit at circle. I'm not making them be quiet. We're doing these games. They're receiving some specific positive praise. We're reinforcing the rules of the classroom all together. So I haven't brought my children in and let them take off with work, and I haven't got a situation of chaos now in the room because they're using things they don't know how to use. We've done some of the basic classroom rules. So another thing we need to introduce during this early circle time is the quiet bell. So children, sometimes it gets a little bit noisy in the classroom, and when we hear too much noise, we can ring this little bell. And then everybody knows just to be a little bit quieter and to do their work. So I always sign things like work. So, children, if you'd all like to talk, and when you hear the bell, I need you to stop straight away. So can you all talk? Wow! I did one tiny ding of the bell and you all went quiet straight away so you could hear me. Should we try again? Can you all talk again?
What was that?
I love it. And Aria, you were so quick to be quiet when you heard the bell. Thank you for listening to me. That's such good manners. And now we've introduced the idea of the bell, and during our work time now, if it does get a little bit noisy, we can ring the bell. And then once the children have understood the use of it, and another day I'm going to introduce the idea to them that they can also ring the bell if they think the environment's too noisy. I'm not going to tell them now that they can't, because some of your children might catch on really quickly, and when they hear the noise, they'll go and ring the bell for themselves, even if we haven't specifically said that's what they can do, because this is going to remain on a shelf that they can reach. So it'll be interesting to see how the bell develops, which children really appreciate the quietness in the classroom and which are not actually bothered by it. But it's a really useful tool to have. This is your quiet bell. I'm going to show you something really special. This is called a work mat, and this small one goes on the table. And anytime you're doing your work, you use a mat, and then everybody else knows that they can't touch your work. It's yours, okay? So this is where your work goes, and this is how we use it. We put it on the table. Roll it out. Then I can go and get my work.